Wait. Did you see the way this went down? Criminal charges loading, the inheritance case that flipped every single rule upside down. This isn't just a win. Nah, this is a storm in slow motion. One move, one mind, one verdict that changed everything. Oh, you're about to hear the kind of story that doesn't whisper. It shakes walls. Every line hits like a strike. Every pause burns like proof. You think you've seen pressure? Wait till you feel the silence before victory. Because this right here, this is not luck. It's precision, pain, and power stitched together. Yeah, I know you've been through moments where no one believed in you. Moments where you had to fight without screaming, stand when everything around you said sit down. Well, this speech, this journey, is for you. For every watcher who's ever been doubted, ignored, or underestimated, this one's your mirror. So don't skip. Don't breathe too early. Stay till the end. Feel every pause, every twist, every burn of truth. Because when this story unfolds, it won't just entertain you, it'll wake something inside you. You'll feel that familiar fire rise, that voice inside saying, maybe I've got more fight left than they think. Oh yeah, before we go in, shout out to you. The ones watching, the ones listening, the ones commenting, the ones who refuse to give up. You are the reason this message exists, the energy behind every word and every punch of truth. This isn't just my story, it's ours. Every view, every reaction, every thought you drop below adds another spark to this fire. They thought it was about the papers, but it was never about the papers. You ever notice how silence can get louder than words? How the room shifts when truth walks in wearing scars instead of suits? Oh, that's what happened the day I stepped into that courtroom. They expected another desperate soul begging for a share, a name, a slice of gold. But what I carried wasn't greed. It was proof. Proof that justice doesn't need a mask. It needs a memory strong enough to survive betrayal. You could see it in their faces, the fake smiles, the quick whispers, the shifting eyes. Everyone wanted the inheritance, but no one wanted the weight that came with it. They wanted wealth without wounds, titles without trials. But me, I walked in ready to bleed, if it meant truth would finally stand up and speak. Yeah, the air was thick. You could almost taste the fear. People laugh at the idea of criminal charges loading until they realize the one loading isn't the system, it's you. Every lie they told, every forged paper, every insult disguised as courtesy, I stored it all, quietly, patiently, like a shadow watching the light flicker, knowing it will burn itself out soon. They underestimated how silence can turn into strategy, how the person they mocked could be the one holding every receipt when the storm hits. See, that's the part they never tell you. Truth doesn't shout. It waits. It learns your rhythm, your weakness, your arrogance, and when the time is right, it walks in calm and clean while you crumble under your own performance. Oh, they called me cold. They said I was heartless for not reacting when they lied. Nah, I just learned that emotion is a luxury you can't afford when you're building evidence brick by brick. While they laughed, I observed. While they boasted, I calculated. And when the judge's eyes met mine, I didn't flinch. Because when you've already been betrayed by those closest to you, no stare in this world can break you anymore. Every accusation they threw was meant to crush me. But I didn't fight back with noise. I fought back with silence. Silence that spoke louder than their entire legal team. Silence that made them look at their own reflection and realize They were guilty before the verdict even came. I didn't just win an inheritance case that day. I buried the illusion that kindness means weakness. I buried the myth that patience means defeat. When the decision came down, the courtroom didn't explode in applause. It fell quiet. That heavy, chilling quiet that happens when justice actually works. And you know what's strange? The victory didn't feel like joy. It felt like release. Like years of carrying a locked door inside finally opened. And behind it wasn't treasure, but peace. Because this was never about gold or land or legacy. It was about reclaiming my name, my dignity. The part of me they thought they'd buried under lies. Oh, they didn't see it coming. The very hands that tried to erase me ended up signing their own downfall. That's the funny part. People build traps, forgetting who remembers where the floor creaks. Every signature they forged became a confession. Every trick they played became a map leading straight to them. Now the world whispers he won. But they don't know what it cost. They don't know the nights I spent stitching my silence into armor. They don't know the weight of walking into war with nothing but truth in your hands. They only see the final scene, not the slow burn that built it. The case is closed. The papers are signed. The world calls it victory, but I call it transformation. The moment a victim becomes something else entirely. Because once you've faced betrayal and walked out cleaner than those who plotted against you, something inside you changes forever. Winning isn't the end. It's the beginning of what they'll try next. Oh, you thought the courtroom was the battlefield? Nah, the real fight starts when silence follows the verdict. That's when masks begin to slip, when smiles start to twitch, when the ones who lost start whispering in corners trying to rewrite what just happened. The papers are signed, yes, but truth doesn't end with ink. It keeps breathing quietly inside the people who tried to bury it. The moment I stepped out, I could feel it. The shift. Victory has a strange scent. It attracts envy faster than it earns respect. People who once offered fake congratulations now look with eyes that weigh your worth against their failures. That's the cost of winning something clean. You remind others of what they had to cheat to get. Yeah, they can't stand it. Because the calmness after victory feels louder than any scream. They wanted me to lose loudly. Instead, I won quietly. And quiet victory burns deeper. It doesn't celebrate. It lingers. It walks past their gossip, their twisting stories, their hidden rage. They thought I'd stop once I got the inheritance, that I'd relax, forget, move on. But they don't realize peace doesn't make me soft. It sharpens me. See, I learned something through every lie they told. People reveal who they are, not when they lose, but when you stop reacting. They get nervous when you no longer rise to defend yourself. Because your silence says what words never could. You're beyond their reach. And that's the kind of power that terrifies them. Oh, they tried to test it. Small things at first, rumors, sudden phone calls, twisted stories about what really happened. They thought they could shake the foundation, pull me back into the chaos. But I didn't bite. I've already learned the rhythm of manipulation. I've studied their games so well that even their silence feels predictable now. When they can't win in truth, they chase shadows. They try to stain what they can't destroy. They move in the dark thinking I won't notice. But I do. Every whisper carries a familiar tone. Every fake apology hides another agenda. And yet, I let it pass. Because not every attack deserves an answer. Oh, you can feel it, can't you? That tension like the air before a storm. They're waiting for me to fall into the same traps they set before. But I've learned to see the patterns now. The game doesn't scare me anymore. It bores me, because you can't scare someone who's already seen the worst version of betrayal and still stood tall. This inheritance wasn't a reward. It was a test. It showed who was real, who was false, and who was ready to pretend forever. And while they're still fighting ghosts of their own greed, I'm just walking forward. One step, one truth, one quiet victory at a time. Yeah, they'll talk, they'll twist, they'll act like they're winning outside the courtroom. But deep down, they know the case may be over, but I'm still the verdict they can't erase. They built a system to control me. I learned it so well, I became it. Oh, isn't that something? The same walls they thought would trap me became my fortress. The same laws they twisted, I studied line by line until I could hear them breathing between the words. Yeah, they tried to play the system. I decided to become fluent in it. That's the part they never saw coming. They were busy chasing shortcuts while I was mastering structure. It's strange how power shifts quietly. One day you're fighting to survive in a courtroom. The next, the very people who mocked you start asking you how you did it, how you stayed calm, how you turned an inheritance case into a lesson written in steel. And I tell them the same thing. I stopped reacting. I started reading. Not just papers, people, their tone, their pauses, their habits. Because the system isn't in the files, it's in the faces. Nah, I didn't win because I had better lawyers. I won because I understood human nature better than they did. Every person in that room had something to lose. I just had something to prove. And when your purpose burns cleaner than their greed, the system begins to bend toward you. It's not magic, it's discipline. The kind of discipline that makes silence heavier than a shout. They still think I'm lucky. Maybe I found the right loophole at the right time. Oh, they have no idea. They don't see the months I spent studying how each rule connects to the next, how every signature becomes a weapon when used with patience. They don't know that knowledge, quiet, slow, and precise, is the sharpest blade a person can hold. And once you hold it, you start to see things differently. You see how fear guides people more than reason. You see how comfort blinds them. You see how easily truth can be hidden when people stop asking questions. The system isn't just written, it's performed. And once you understand the script, you can rewrite it. That's what I did. Step by step, I turned their traps into lessons. Every trick they pulled became a study in weakness. Every delay, every lie, every attempt to wear me down only trained me to stand longer. Oh wow, who would have thought betrayal could be the best education? And then, something changed. They started to avoid me. The same people who once called me desperate now avoided my name like it was a warning sign, because they realized I wasn't playing anymore. I was observing, calculating, building something bigger than revenge. I was becoming the kind of person they couldn't manipulate again. Yeah, that's the moment I understood. True power isn't in control, it's in composure. When you no longer need to prove yourself loud enough for others to notice, you've already won a quieter war. The kind that doesn't make noise but leaves echoes everywhere you go. Power tests your silence more than your struggle. Oh wow. Everyone wants to win, until they realize winning means leading. It's easy to fight when you're angry. It's harder to rule when the noise stops, and all you can hear is your own conscience asking, now what? Yeah, that's when the crown gets heavy. Not because of gold or glory, but because it's made of responsibility. Every choice, every reaction, every consequence now belongs to you. I used to think victory would feel like freedom, but no, it feels like focus. Every move now matters. The same eyes that doubted me before are watching again, waiting for a single mistake to prove I never deserved to win. And yet, I stay calm, because power isn't about being feared, it's about being precise. The louder the world gets, the quieter your mind must become. Nah, I don't chase revenge anymore. That part of me burned out the moment I realized revenge only makes you look back. I'm not walking backward. I've seen what greed does, how it eats people from the inside until they can't tell the truth from tricks. I'd rather carry the weight of truth, even if it's heavier. Because the moment you let your anger lead, you lose direction. And I didn't come this far to lose to emotion. Oh, the same people who once fought me now try to imitate me. They copy the calm, the discipline, the way I speak in measured words instead of loud threats. They think power is a performance. They still don't get it. Real strength doesn't need an audience, it just is. Quiet, steady, unshaken. The kind that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Yeah. I see now that leadership isn't about ruling others, it's about ruling yourself. The court ended, but the trial never did. Every day tests who you've become. Every choice builds or breaks what you stood for. And that's what the inheritance truly was. Not wealth, not property, but proof that patience outlives corruption. They call it control. I call it clarity. The kind that cuts through manipulation and temptation like glass through fog. Because when you've learned to carry peace in chaos, you've already mastered the hardest part of power. Legacy isn't what you leave behind. It's what you build while they're still watching. Oh, everyone talks about leaving a mark, but no one wants to bleed for it. They want their names carved in walls they never helped build. But I learned something through this inheritance war. Legacy doesn't come from wealth or titles. It comes from the scars you earn while standing for truth when everyone else bends. Yeah, the case ended, but its echo still moves through every person who watched it unfold. That's legacy, living proof that patience can outlast deceit. At first, I thought the fight was about reclaiming what was mine. Now I see it was about teaching everyone who witnessed it how to stand when the world tries to silence you. Because every generation repeats the same story. Lies dressed as logic, greed disguised as family, betrayal hidden in smiles. The only way to break that cycle is to show what strength looks like when it refuses to turn cruel. Nah. I'm not here to be remembered as a winner. I'm here to be remembered as someone who stayed clean in a dirty game. Someone who didn't trade truth for power, even when power was right there waiting. The world forgets how rare that is, to win without losing your soul to pride, to walk away calm when everyone else is still shouting. Oh, they still test me. Even now, whispers crawl through corridors trying to twist the story again. But I don't chase them anymore. Because I realized something. When your legacy becomes truth itself, you don't need to defend it. Time does it for you. Truth ages well, lies decay fast. The more they speak, the more their own words trap them. Yeah. That's the quiet revenge I never planned but earned, not through destruction, but through endurance. You see, legacy isn't noise, It's discipline that outlives emotion. It's the calm that walks beside your name long after the crowd forgets the fight. And maybe that's the greatest victory of all, to turn pain into principle. Now, when I look at the inheritance, it doesn't shine the same way. It's no longer a prize, it's a reminder. A reminder that every gain carries a test, that every victory is watched, not just celebrated. Because once you've proven yourself, people start measuring their strength through your story. And that's when you realize legacy isn't about you anymore. It's about what your endurance teaches others. Oh, who would have thought an inheritance case could turn into a life lesson? But it did. It showed that patience wins louder than arrogance, that quiet confidence can crush deceit without raising a hand. And now, the very people who once doubted me look at me differently, not with fear, but with a strange kind of respect they can't explain. Yeah, I built something stronger than a victory. I built an example, a pattern for those who come next. Because truth, when carried with courage, always leaves a trail that others can follow. That's legacy. Not a monument of pride, but a mirror of strength. Oh, what a ride. You felt that, didn't you? Every line hit, every pause spoke louder than words. This wasn't just a story. It was proof that truth walks stronger than lies. Yeah, the case is done, but the message stays. Calm beats chaos, patience beats pride, and focus always wins in the end. So if this hit your mind or fired your heart, drop your thoughts below. Your voice matters. You're part of this movement now. Criminal charges loading. The way you won this inheritance case, that's not luck, that's legacy.